On the 11th of September 2021, I held my second in a series of throwback events for Ace of Spades Beta. Following on from playing 0.52 on Classic Gen in August, I felt that Mesa would be the perfect next candidate, given how well made it was and how well known it was back in the day. I mean, heck, the first ever clan match a decade ago was held on it. Triplefox, the creator of the map, also a member of the Ops clan, Dev himself, and a previous Ace of Spades staff member, was gracious enough to lend his time and voice, along with Tank, and answer a handful of questions about the history of the map and his time with the game. If you're interested in attending future events, we're currently doing it about once a month, and details are in a Build and Shoot forum thread linked to that, and the full uncut stream can be found in the description below. Here's what he had to say.
But while we've got you here, we might as well take full advantage. Like, this is one of the first few maps. I think some of the earliest maps that were ever made. This is one of the first few, from what I remember. Like, what did you make it
in? So what I did, well, first of all, let's talk like the inspiration, I guess. Which was really just kind of a I think I can do this better thing, because I saw a few custom maps, and they were all just like kind of scribbles.
Yeah.
And there were some tools from the VoxLab libraries. I'm forgetting exactly the names of the tools,
Vox,
but there's like one. Yeah, there's like I think there's one that did like scenes, and then another one that did models. And what I said to myself was, okay, I want to do a map where I'm using the models to make these, giant landscapes. And so then I thought about, okay, what kind of thing can I make quickly in the model editor? And the idea of having this very dramatic cliff face came in, and so I was like, okay, I'll just make this kind of desert setting. And if you look at the overhead map, oh, that's why it's crashing. When I hit M, it crashes.
Oh, that's weird.
So if you don't look at the overhead map,
yeah, I've got it on my screen, don't
we? You can see that it's like symmetrical in a few places. I think I took the same shape and just rotated it 3 times.
Oh yeah, I see that.
And that's the basis of the landscape, and then I just added some details on top of that, and that's basically how the map was made.
So it was mostly voxed, but was voxed able to anti-rotate things then? 'Cause I wasn't even aware that was possible.
Yeah, it could be that there had to been a rotation tool in something that I was using.
Right. Because like the early maps made in Voxed were kind of like the bridge map, Arctic Bridge, and that kind of thing. They were very obviously made in that tool, whereas I think this was the first one that really didn't look like that. There were no other tools available at the time, and this was just kind of the first one which didn't seem like default stuff, I guess. And I think it's one of the few that have this kind of layout where you've got a middle separated island. I don't think I remember seeing any other map really adopt that.
Yeah, I think I did want to have like a clear, like I wanted I imagined that the water area would be like this area where you would see fighting where it was like it was very vertical. but in a way that was different from like the rolling hills in Classic Gen.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that idea, and it kind of worked. I remember playing this map and seeing people, you know, build like little, I don't know what you'd call them, carvings into the sides of the cliffs.
Do you remember how you did the coloring for the map? Because I always thought it looked really good, and I think a lot of the time when people tried to do the contouring, it didn't really work out, like with the actual hills, you know?
Yeah, there's something in there. Wow.
Hi.
I haven't shot anyone yet.
Oh, that's so sad.
What I remember was like there was something where it's like I can't really control the coloring very well in Fox Edge. But there was like a lighting tool, and you can definitely see like there's a gradient on these hills, and so I definitely did some stuff with the lighting.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just always, anytime I made a map, I kind of use the color map, height map type of thing. So just getting those to match with all the other different things you did sounds like, I don't know,
painful,
strange to do.
Yeah. I always found, colouring was the worst bit. Like trying to make it just not one solid colour. I don't know, I found that really difficult.
Yeah, I remember there were multiple versions of the map, and I think the first version, like my test version, did not have the buildings. It didn't have the buildings or the roads. But I recall thinking to myself, knowing how maps in other games, when you have multiple versions, sometimes you'll end up with the situation where the first version of it is not the version you want, but it's also the one that has the most obvious name. You know, it would be just called like Mesa instead of Mesa Alpha 1. So I remember I was like, I'm going to make sure to put like an alpha or something in front of it. I forget what I did or how many versions I had in the end, but it worked out.
Nice.
Oh, like Harbor and Harbor 2.
Is there a Harbor 2?
Harbor 2's the one on AOS Party.
It's completely different map though. It's like, it's not the same thing.
Okay, so somebody else did that.
Oh, I saw you having credit on the map.
Okay, well, I think
maybe they just took the name. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have like said, "Oh, I want to do a second harbor," and I'm like, "Okay, do whatever." I really don't remember much about Harbor actually.
It looked pretty good. Like, again, it was quite a nice looking map overall. It's the one with the big island and the tunnel in the middle, and the two cities other side.
Yeah, there's like two cities and like an ocean front kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I did have that. We were trying to go through, me and Tank, some maps that we remember and maps that could be done for an event of this kind, where it's kind of going back onto old versions. And we were looking at Harbour 2 as one of them. Mesa certainly... I mean, you got the first spot, let's put it that way. First was Classic Gen, obviously. Second is Mesa, so you got the second spot. That's how iconic we felt this was. What about even further back? Like if you think about how you got into the game, because you must have been pretty early on.
Yeah. No, I got in. I got in because I was reading the Take Source forums, and that was a independent game source. It was run by I think there are multiple people running it, but mostly I remember Derek Yu, who did Spelunky.
All right.
And Spelunky, I think, was that was either in the future or it had already come out by the time Ace of Spades did.
Oh, I think that was after.
But yeah, wow. What was I going to say? Take source.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben had just posted like, oh, here's my new game, and it was just like any other post in that forum where it was like, try my game. So I did.
Right. Fair enough.
So I wasn't aware, or maybe I was a little bit aware of like, oh, it had like blown up on 4chan or whatever. But like I had come to it from the perspective of like, oh yeah, I'm also making games and I want to see this game. And you know, I played a lot of first-person shooters before, so
Course, yeah.
I'd actually not really gotten into Minecraft, even though I'd seen Minecraft, and I'd also seen posting of that on Take Source, which was where it first appeared. Like with Minecraft, I was like, yeah, okay, it's a block building game, and that was cool. Like I was glad to see that like voxels were being used for this kind of thing. But I still wanted like more of a game loop to it. And I had missed out on Infiniminer, which apparently did have that kind of thing going on. So when Ace of Spades hit, I was like, oh, okay. This is kind of what I was... like, I was looking for something like this.
Yep.
So that's how I got into it. And then from there, it was like, there was a forum, and I'm like, I got a little bit active on the forum. I don't remember too much
the
about
WordPress
that
forum.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. But,
so yeah, that must have been like first couple of versions then. Because I was 0.22, but I think I was later possibly than you then.
Yeah, it was very near the beginning.
Nice.
And yeah, like I remember something about those early versions that like before you could do the just walk up the hills.
Oh yeah, free auto climb, yeah.
Yeah, like the first thing I did in the game, pretty much after like wandering around and shooting and digging a tunnel, was I was like, it would help to build a road so that people did not have to like jump up the hills all the time. So I like spent all my time building roads.
Nice. You're a classic green in many senses.
Yeah.
Building all the time, not really caring about the world, not caring about people shooting at you,
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm not caring about people shooting at me.
Yeah. I saw you just building a random bridge over on the other side a little while back. I'm trying to remember much later when, well, it would have been 6 to 8 months later, I imagine, the whole SoCa Studios thing. Were you at all involved with the community hires stuff?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Because I don't think anyone really knows too much about this. Obviously we do because we were staff at the time, but...
So, what I remember is, that, like I did get some notification that, from whoever was at Jagex at the time. Like, they had a producer over there, and then, like, I think the producer changed partway through negotiations.
Yeah.
Which is not really a good sign, but they had gone and emailed a whole bunch of people with some involvement with pyspades.
Yeah.
And offered an insultingly low amount of money.
Ooh.
Which
yeah, I remember you talking about this. I remember.
Yeah, I countered with like 10 times as much. I don't remember the exact amount I ended up with, but I did that, and then I think I doubled it again after that. And they said yes both times, so maybe I should have kept raising my ask. But they also, like, part of what their initial offer was that, okay, you get to work on the game, and you get some amount of royalties. It was like 0.5% or something. And I said, no, I just want money. Because I had no faith in them.
Right.
I really did not think they were going to manage this game very well.
Right.
And maybe that's like self-fulfilling, because I remember that Matt figured I was going to join, and like even got me in some private IRC, and I was like, actually, no, I'm not going to do this.
Huh.
And you know, Matt had been working on a client, and that became the basis for the commercial game, right?
Yep.
And like, I thought his work was good. Like, I would have wanted to work with him more, but I just wasn't convinced that it would be anything like it would turn out. So maybe if I'd been there, maybe the community-driven thing would have gone a little bit further than it did. But also knowing that like there was stuff going on with the management at Jagex at the time. I mean, I don't have like the clearest insight into what was going on, but I got the sense that it was just kind of chaotic the whole way through.
Right. Yeah.
So in the end, I did nothing and I got money.
Huh.
Oh, nice.
That's a good way around.
Was there anything in particular to begin with that made you think they wouldn't do a good job on it?
Or
was it just their attitude, or the embarrassingly low amount that they offered?
Yeah, there are certain things in their messaging, and also the offer amount, I guess. Because what they wanted to do, right, was buy up, you know, all the pyspades software.
Right, yeah.
And they had to get a license from me, so like I knew my negotiation position was good.
Yeah, I remember this. It was that, and actually the VoxLab license itself. Because with pyspades, they would have had to have gone to every contributor to the project, right?
Yeah.
To be able to change the license, they had to have permission from every person who added code to the repository, basically. Which is a nightmare.
And I think there were some maps included in that too.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, so like one of my regrets is that I did not go around and collude with everyone to make sure that they all got the amount they should have gotten.
Right. Makes sense. Because I know the amount that they had to pay Ken Silverman for the VoxLab license wasn't a small sum. Actually, interesting. Was all this stuff before or after SoCa Studios? I thought it was potentially after, but because I don't know how much did you hear about the setup they actually had at SoCa, or did you hear nothing at all?
Yeah, I don't think I heard much at all about like the actual development that they had, because what I recall is that there were multiple studios, right, that eventually worked in the game. And I think my involvement, to the extent that I had any involvement, predated probably all of that.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I remember there was, I think Compy was potentially going to be involved at one point, And of course he made that intro jingle to the to the OpenGL client that Matt was making as well, which was pretty awesome. And was it? I can't remember who else was it. Maybe yourself, and then you, from what I remember.
Yourself and you, yeah.
Well, you remember yourself, right?
Yeah.
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 I think
I
those
don't know
were
if
the
I
names.
saw him on those documents though. Maybe.
I think I saw it on because I did have a look briefly through our logs just to see where the word hire or hiring had been mentioned in the staff logs, because I've still got all the IRC logs from back in the day. And I found a few names, one of which actually I'm not even sure. I'm not sure I found your name in there, which was why I was intrigued as to how much involvement you had. But maybe you had already been in consideration by that point, behind the scenes, because he was rather vague about it. That's interesting. And then I suppose when Jagex went full Jagex and ported it off to this external development house from Matt's client and released Ace Spades fully, quote unquote, on Steam. Is that when you stopped playing, or what was kind of your endpoint with the game?
Yeah, I think kind of the end point was as soon as it became a money thing, and I was like, well, like as soon as you introduce the possibility of some kind of financial gain, then like the atmosphere changes. And I definitely felt that, not just with like myself, but everyone else involved in the community. And that's right, I did work on Iceball for a little bit.
Oh yeah, Iceball.
Yeah, but I also knew that it kind of wasn't going to be the same. And I think I eventually I worked on some technical stuff, and then I was like, okay, I've kind of I want to do something else now. Like I forget exactly what I was working on then, but like I had some other project in mind. Yeah, to this day I've never played the actual released Jagex Ace of Spades.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah, like I did watch some footage of it.
Well, you've lost the opportunity now if you ever happen to want to, you know?
Damn it.
Actually, this is another map you made, Triplefox. Icecap. Do you remember Icecap?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that was just my follow-up to Mesa, wasn't it?
Yeah, potentially.
I remember that one went really quickly.
Yeah, it's like 3 islands or something with interconnecting things on it, from what I remember.
Yeah, I think I just had an idea, and I was like, oh, this kind of like landscape hasn't been done yet, so let's do one of those.
I feel like I should be asking you more questions, but I'm not sure what to ask. Like what didn't we know from back in the day? Like, any juicy gossip we missed somehow?
Juicy gossip. I don't think there's anything that was missed, but you know, like I'm trying to think like specific like games that we played. There is definitely a bunch of those, you know, like what was it? At versus everyone.
Yeah, versus forums and that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I remember a few of those.
You didn't record any, did you?
I didn't. I wasn't
Yeah, I was just
recording anything.
wondering. Because I think the very first one that we played on this map, I don't think anyone recorded it. So I was just curious.
We've got screenshots of it, but we haven't got recordings. I think. At least I don't think so. I'd have to double check my old laptop. Maybe it would have been my old laptop, which is why I don't have them anymore. I don't think we have that machine anymore. Were you? I think I remember Tank you being in it, but were you in the infiltration versus forums we did, Triplefox?
Infiltration.
We had like a castle map that I made.
Oh, yes, I do remember something about the castle map.
Castle Assault, I think it was called.
Yeah, I think I might have played that once.
Right.
So there's a game mode that I've always had in mind for this that wasn't possible in this engine.
Oh.
And it was something where you could play on like mercenary squads instead of having green and blue. And so you would kind of, I guess, in a battle royale type of thing, you would like drop in and each have missions, and so it would be chaotic in a different way. And then your score would be like money earned because you're all mercenaries.
Interesting. What kind of challenges would you have? What kind of missions?
Probably like, you know, it would be variations on the kind of capture the flag type of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like defend a certain area or like capture a certain area. You could do that kind of thing.
Do you know if this version still had that cone of fire thing? Because I feel like some of the shots don't really hit. Yeah.
I don't know if that would just hit reg.
There's a degree of luck to it, kinda.
Yeah.
Unless you're this guy and just one-shots me.
One of the first videos I put ever onto YouTube was actually 0.53. And it was SMG hit reg failure. Fairly sure. Where it was dodgy as heck.
Yeah, the SMG has never been the good gun. I think it got a little bit better in a later version.
One of them was downright OP, from what I remember.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When he first go on.
I seem to remember that it was both better at taking down fortifications and was also too accurate.
Yeah,
that was the version.
I can't remember which one that was, but I do remember it being like a block laser at one point.
Yeah, so when he first brought it out, I think it was not that great, and then people complained, and so he just buffed like everything.
Yeah, it wasn't one to. He rolled over on a few things that he potentially shouldn't have rolled over on at certain points.
Like autoclimb.
Like autoclimb, like the slow firing rifle for .76. Like that was such a good balancing thing. It was like a few people complained, and that was just it. Ah!
First kill on you.
Yeah. I thought you were the guy tunneling around here for ages, or maybe you were. Were you tunneling?
No.
Ah, I wonder who that was then. Because there's been one dude just going around our spawn, tunneling like crazy. An MMO. I did, at one point, I have a document somewhere where I theorized like an Ace of Spades MMO. Where like people built their bases. In fact, it was very much like, and in fact I did play this once. There was a clan mode, or a faction mode, I think it was faction mode in Minecraft, which was similar. Where you could protect a certain area. If you got more members, you could like protect certain chunks. And so you try to like grow your area of influence and go on raids and that kind of thing. That was kind of fun.
I've been playing a lot of Planetside too. And
Oh yeah.
it definitely does the FPS MMO thing. It really is the only game I think that does that. And I'd say that, like, compared to Ace of Spades, like it does have some construction element in it, but it's more like placing prefab constructions like it's a real-time strategy game. And like the thing of being an MMO really kind of sucks out the usual like team play, because you'll end up with a large player base over time that is just focused on farming their stats. And so they'll end up colluding in an area where they know they can farm faster. And then you get like this really stagnant fight. And like there's a bunch of stuff with like spawning and logistics and doing like a very large map too. But I keep playing it because like it's interesting to see how they're trying to like handle all of those kinds of challenges.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was McCooley. Wasn't it McCooley that played a lot of Planetside too? I remember one of the ops played a lot of it. I didn't even see you.
I'm surprised that game has survived so long. I think it came out in 2012, was it?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
And people are still playing.
Yeah, no, they've done a lot of updates. It went for a period where it was like almost dead because there was no team on it essentially. But there have been like some. They were acquired by like this investment firm, and they added some staff, and they're like doing like campaign content and stuff now.
It's been fun. Thanks so much for coming along, Triplefox.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Good.
Yeah. I'll try to make it for more of these.
Awesome. Yeah, hopefully we can just build over time. It's given they're pretty much monthly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Well, let's turn up the sounds and say goodbye. So thanks everyone who came along, no matter which time, and yeah, see you in a month's time, if not before.